Service of Mass is taking place at Westminster Cathedral for the Tory MP, Sir David Amess, who was killed during a constituency meeting in October.
Yes, his private funeral and procession was held yesterday in Southend-on-Sea, and the Archbishop of Westminster will lead today's service alongside a representative from the Vatican who will deliver a special message from Pope Francis.
Yes, well, let's talk now to Ali Costello, GBNews' South East of England reporter, who was at Southend-on-Sea for us yesterday and is now at Westminster Cathedral today. Ali, thank you very much for joining us. What's the scene like there? What's happening at the moment?
Hi, Patrick. Yes, this is the second day of remembrance for Sir David Amess. Yesterday was that private funeral service in Southend, a very emotional affair there for the friends and the family and the close political colleagues of Sir David. Today is a much larger event here at Westminster Cathedral. This is for the leaders in Sir David's political life and indeed his faithful life as well. We're at Westminster Cathedral, which is the mother church for the Roman Catholic Church in England and Wales, and it's in Westminster, which is the political home ground, London's political district. It seems like a very fitting place for the final farewell to Sir David. So a full Requiem Mass is just getting underway. The doors have literally just closed behind me on that Mass, and Sir David was a devout Catholic, so it is a very fitting final farewell for him. And the coffin was just carried in ever so carefully through those doors behind me into Westminster Cathedral, and a guard of honour from the doorkeepers of the House of Commons welcomed the coffin into the cathedral. It really was a very special and sombre moment. And you can see those pictures now on your screens. And this location is ever so special because 38 years ago, this is where Sir David married his wife, Julia, in this very cathedral. And in fact, Pat Brown, the Roman Catholic duty priest for Parliament, he officiated at their wedding here 38 years ago. And he is delivering the homily on this very spot in this very service 38 years later. So it's almost a full circle moment. This is where Sir David and Julia started their married lives together, and it's where Sir David is laid to rest today, where the end of his life is marked. And Sir David was not one for an understated affair, and people are saying here that this is very grand. This is something that Sir David would have wanted. It's a great display of pomp and of reverence as well, and that is what he was all about. So what is going to be happening behind those doors now? Well, we know that the Archbishop of Westminster is presiding over the service this morning. His Excellency Archbishop Claudio Guattari, who is the diplomat almost from the Vatican City. He is the ambassador for Pope Francis. He is here and he is delivering a message from the Pope, I'm sure, talking about Sir David as a man of faith. And we've also seen members of the Houses of Parliament. We've seen Prime Minister Boris Johnson head into the cathedral behind us, Sir Keir Starmer, former Prime Ministers as well, Sir John Major, David Cameron and Theresa May as well. And there are members of the Qatari royal family inside as well. So lots of very important people here today. Anne Widdecombe is doing the eulogy today. She's delivering the eulogy, a very close friend of Sir David. And I asked her what we should be expecting from the service. This is what she told me.
Well, this is Westminster Cathedral, of course, which is the centre of Catholicism in this country. David was a practising Catholic. He led the all-parliamentary group for the Holy See, which meant that he met the Pope on several occasions. The Pope has sent a message, and I reckon this, an awful lot of important people here today, but the most important person probably in all Britain to the Pope was probably David Amess.
What legacy does Sir David leave behind, and how will he be remembered?
I hope he won't be remembered for his death. I want him remembered for his life. Obviously, there's a very hard legacy in Southend because it's now been made a city, and it wouldn't have been but for him. So that is a very discernible legacy, but there's a bigger and a broader one, which is simply example. There is a lot more to politics than I think a lot of people imagine, and David gave it his all.
A very emotional Anne Widdecombe there speaking to me just before the service as she is doing the eulogy in the Mass that has just started behind me. You might be able to make out that first hymn that is ringing around us now. It's going to be a very grand and a very emotional service for a man of politics and a man of faith.
Ali, thank you very much on what is such a sad day. You'll be with us throughout the day today and as the funeral of Sir David Amess takes place there at Westminster Cathedral.